Hello, welcome to this amazing design masterclass with me, Carol, and the lovely Hannah Oxberry. This is a treat, Hannah.
Well, because usually I'm hiding upstairs.
Yes! It's a treat to have you down here, and oh my goodness me, this is awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been really, really good fun to make, and I can't wait to see everyone else who's going to learn from this and make some on the Wall of Fame as well.
It is awesome. The whole idea of design masterclass is that we focus on a single piece of jewellery and we go through the design from beginning to end. We have a look at all the incredible ingredients that have gone into this amazing project, and it is beautiful. You're going to love this. I've been having loads of fun with these little pots of glitter, which I'll come to in a couple of seconds. The whole essence of this is it's a real mixed media project, isn't it, this one?
Yeah, it's how I tend to work best, is with lots and lots of different elements, putting them all together and just seeing what happens.
Fantastic, awesome. Right, so we're going to start off by bringing you a block of polymer clay. Now, this is your big block of polymer clay. This, you can tell it's a big block because it's measured in a pound. It's measured by weight. You can tell it's big. A pound of white polymer clay. Now, as far as polymer clay goes, even if you use lots of different colours of polymer clay, white and black tend to be the ones that you always use most of, don't they, Hannah?
Yeah, it's your essentials. It's great for blending and it's great for toning down colours and making sure that your little packs of clay go much further.
Fantastic. So you can mix this with other colours and get a completely different look?
Absolutely, yeah.
Brilliant. So you've got your pound of white polymer clay. That's amazing. You can build a house with that. You've also got a strand of beautiful rose quartz faceted rice beads. These are delicious. I've seen rose quartz lots on JewelleryMaker before. These are beautiful faceted rice beads here. Absolutely stunning. Lovely size and shape on these. They're so pretty, aren't they? Just gorgeous. I can't wait to see how Hannah's used these in her project. You know, it is such a lovely project that she's developed for us today. And these rose quartz are going to fit in so beautifully. You're also going to be getting another pink element, and it's 10 metres of 0.4mm gauge, baby pink coloured copper wire. Now, 0.4mm gauge wire, it's one of the thinnest gauges of wire that we have here at JewelleryMaker. And you'll get a taster and you'll get a chance to see how Hannah has actually used this in her design and how she's used it to her advantage. It's fantastic for things like tiara work and bridal work, and also the project which Hannah has worked on today. You're also going to be getting the chance to come in and get these as well. This is all for one great price, by the way. You're also going to be getting druzy, baby pink, kind of candy floss coloured druzy. I love druzy. It's so beautiful. This is actually a genuine gemstone. What you've got here is druzy agate, so it's agate that has been forming over many moons, many hundreds and thousands of years. And at some point, the agate has cracked or split, and that is filled with water, which solidifies and calcifies, and you get these amazing crystals which attach themselves onto the agate. Which are then mined and then, of course, dyed this beautiful baby pink kind of candy floss colour. I love that variance of colour you get between all of the 5 drusies you've got here. Completely different tones from this end to that end there. Gorgeous, isn't it? So, what's next? You're also going to be getting these beautiful stamps. Now, these are designed by one of our metal clay experts, a lovely lady called Natalia Coleman. And you've got 2 different stamps on here. You've got a stamp here with butterflies on. Has it got a name on it? I don't think it has, actually. You've got a stamp here with butterflies on, which is just adorable. So cute, so lovely. And a stamp with which is full of words that Natalia, words and phrases that Natalia really likes. I'll just read some out to you. Summer breezes, autumn leaves, playing, gazing at a painting, birthday cake, scented candles, hot bubbly bath, love letters, holidays, lazy Sunday mornings. It's just like pretty flowers, green fields. Christmas morning, just really lovely things. You should be able to see them on here, but they will of course be backwards. So unless you're particularly good at reading backwards, there we go. But once you do imprint it on the polymer clay or on the metal clay or whatever you choose to use this with, it will look absolutely gorgeous. I love that script and that scroll. Have you used both of these or just one of them?
I've used just the butterflies in this design, but often throughout all of my work, I like the personal nature of putting little words and things.
Yeah.
So I use both of them an awful lot.
And actually, there is one on here, and I noticed it earlier on, which is beautiful butterflies, which gives you a bit of a hint as to what this incredible project is about. Now, We now get to my favourite bit, and honestly, I had all the lids off all of these before we recorded the show today. I just can't get enough of these. I love them. I've got glitter all over the desk, all over my hands, and I don't care because I love it. You're going to be getting these little tiny pots of glitter. These are awesome, Hannah. Tell me a bit about these, because I've only seen these a couple of times on JewelleryMaker.
Yeah, these are new and exclusive colours to JewelleryMaker. Wow. We've actually done a deal with our lovely supplier Sharon, who has made these up under specifications I sent, requesting bright, fun colours, and she's made these glitters up exclusively for us. The great thing about these glitters is they are the only glitters on the market that won't sink in your resin designs.
Ah, lovely.
They are incredibly fine and anti-static, so once I start working with them, they're not going to get stuck all over the place. They will just brush straight off.
Yeah.
And also, they are machine washable.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if you want to decorate your clothes, if you're into that sort of thing, you can actually machine wash these, and they will stay put.
That's fantastic. So you're going to be getting this beautiful kind of purple, but it's got a kind of a green and a blue going through it as well, which is really lovely. You're also going to be getting a pink. I can't work out which ones. I think I like the green best. I don't know. I like them all. This gorgeous, bright, hot pink, like a bubblegum pink. Stunning. You're going to be getting another pot of glitter here with yellow in, but again, this yellow's got kind of green, blue and pink going through it as well. It's just so lovely. Absolutely gorgeous. Was this a glitter that did we find that, I can't remember, there was a glitter product that we had from the Hobbycraft show last.
This is the same one, yeah.
Ah, fantastic. And we've got the blue glitter here as well, which is just gorgeous. Look at that. Stunning. And also you've got your green as well, which I think it is my favourite actually. I just love this peppermint green. It's just so lovely. Now you are going to be amazed, absolutely amazed at what Hannah has made with all of these incredible ingredients. You've got your polymer clay, you've got your 5 druses, you've got your rose quartz, you've got your 5 pots of glitter, you've got your 10 metres, I'll pop that there, 10 metres of your wire, and you've got your 2 stamps. Not only are you going to love what Hannah has made, but you're going to be inspired, and you're actually going to be able to physically make the piece that she has created for this project, because we're going to go into it in such detail today. This incredible pack can be yours. Think about Easter holidays, think about summer holidays, think about spending time with your kids, spending time with your grandkids and getting them involved with making pieces of jewellery, getting them involved with starting a new hobby. It's gorgeous and it's just magical to work with this one. Here's your deal today. Give us a call on our free phone number or get involved on our website, which is JewelleryMaker.com. $59.95 for all of these 5 pots of glitter, 5 drusies, 10 metres of white, a pound of gorgeous white clay, and your rose quartz, and of course your 2 rubber stamps as well. This is absolutely wonderful. Now, the glory of stamps like this is you can actually, they're actually thin enough to put through the pasta machine. We're going to be seeing how you actually physically get the stamps on the polymer clay a little bit later on in the show. Do get it. Do either get this on our website, copy and paste that code into our website, which is PPGC35, or you can get involved by giving us a call on our free phone number there. You're going to be getting a 30-day money-back guarantee, and it's only $2.95 paying people order as well. Now, I can't hold off any longer. We've got to go and see the piece that Hannah's made because it is absolutely stunning. Now, do you need me to bring anything over, Hannah?
No, I have everything ready, yeah.
Brilliant. Awesome. This really is stunning. I think this is one of my favourite pieces that you've made, actually. You've made lots of pieces for JewelleryMaker in the past, but this has got to be one of my favourite pieces. It's just such an eye-catcher. It's gorgeous.
It's just really, really vibrant, and the techniques that we're going to go through are incredibly simple.
Brilliant.
But it does give you a really, really good basis and a good overview to create really stunning jewellery from very, as I say, simple techniques. Did
this design come to you in a dream one night or something? Because this is awesome. Look at this.
It's actually a take on a piece that I have created several times for my own website for my own business. So I looked at the new products that we'd had coming in. I thought, you know what, that's going to lend itself really well to this kind of design. So
absolutely. Yeah. I remember when you said to me the other week when you were busy making this design, you wanted the butterflies to flutter as they were sitting on your neckline. This is gorgeous, and this is you've been able to achieve this by the wire, I suppose. That's underneath.
The technique that we're going to be using is the really, really simple hairvine technique, which is something you can see in your Get Started magazines as well.
Oh, brilliant! Awesome.
But it's sometimes easier just to watch exactly how it works and how it comes together. So
brilliant. Where do you want to start then?
Right, well, starting off, we've just got to first condition the clay. Now, the only colour clay I'm going to use in this is the white. I've just cut off a little piece from the block. It's much easier to work in smaller block sizes as we're passing them through the pasta machine.
Okay.
You're just going to warm it up slightly. Now, it is quite warm in the studios already, so these are already nicely conditioned. But to do that, just to make sure that it's not going to split, we've just got to keep folding it in half and rolling it a bit like a little sausage there. Yeah. Folding, and you see it didn't split that time, which means it's nice and conditioned, ready to go through the pasta machine.
Okay, it's a good gauge.
Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
So we pop it into the pasta machine, and for this design what we're using is the wheel needs to be set to number 1 because you want it at the thickest it will be. So we pull out the wheel, just turn it round until it sits at number 1.
Okay.
Pop your little sausage of clay in there and just turn that through. And you see that comes out nice and flat already for you. We just keep folding and putting back through. Now, it's really important, you must remember to put the folded edge into the pasta machine because that saves you getting any air bubbles in the piece.
Ah, brilliant, okay.
So we can just roll it through a couple of times. Because we're using white clay, I would always advise just give your little pasta machine a little clean. It's quite good to use like baby wipes and then just dry it off with tissue and things like that, and that saves you getting any grease on the clay.
Fantastic. We will bring details. Oh, here we go. The clay rolling machine, $14.95 if you want to add that to your order. The quality of the pasta rolling machine is absolutely awesome, isn't it?
It's second to none, and it is invaluable. I mean, I use mine all the time. If you can imagine trying to hand roll that to the same thickness every time would just be a nightmare. So it's much easier to use the pasta machine.
Fantastic.
So I only rolled out a little small piece, but you can make bigger pieces for this project. You'll end up with tons and tons and tons of little butterflies everywhere. But what we're going to do, we're just going to stamp using the butterfly textured stamp. Push it down into the clay. Now you've got to get nice even, so just push it down with your fingertips all the way along. As you quite rightly said, you can pass this through the pasta machine, but because I want it on a thick setting of number 1, it just stretches it a little bit too much on number 1, so you need a finer piece of clay to do that. We just push it all down all the way along, and just peel back one corner to check that it's stamped deep enough to what you need. It's fine. I'm just going to give it a little extra.
These stamps are awesome, aren't they?
They are beautiful. I mean, look at the effect you've got there, already textured all over. Beautiful imprint of butterflies there. What I'm going to do is simply cut out randomly. I'm not going to make any sort of judgment about where I want the butterflies to sit. I'm using just a little cookie cutter you can buy from any sort of cake shop, bakery shop, anything like that.
Yeah.
And just go through and cut.
Oh, nice.
Just nice and randomly, all the way along.
Oh, lovely.
And then, it's almost like the reveal.
It is, isn't it? I love it, look at this.
Pull the excess clay off and you're just left.
Oh, wow.
As I say, it's a little bit hot in the studio, so they're a bit sticky, but they're coming out nicely. All the excess clay. And you're left with just the butterfly shapes.
Gorgeous.
Now, again, any excess, you roll it between your hands, back through the pasta machine, and that's the great thing with polymer clay, there's no waste.
You've actually used you haven't used a lot of this polymer clay at all, have you? It goes a long way.
It goes a long, long way. And the beauty of having such a big block is it will keep you going for ages and ages and ages.
It will do, yeah, absolutely.
Again, we're just stamping down the texture all the way along. Check, and that's fine.
Gorgeous.
And again, just cut out your little butterflies.
They almost look like they're made out of sugar or icing, don't they? They're just gorgeous.
It gives that effect, doesn't it? It really does. So once you've got enough, I mean, you can use as many or as little as you like in this design. What we need to do is then add little holes to them to allow you to use them in your designs.
Okay.
So I'm using one of our little awls that we have on the website, just to make 2 little holes, just pop it into the clay and circling, and that gives you enough room to get your wires in and round. It's almost like a button if you think of it like a button. And you just do that for each and every single one of your butterflies.
Lovely.
So that is basically how you form the butterflies. We then need to cook them. Obviously I can't show you that on air, But with white clay, it's always best to put them in the oven for like 10 minutes, take them out and check them because you don't want to burn the clay. What I would recommend is a temperature for this kind of thickness, temperature of 120 degrees C.
Okay.
Now, saying that, everyone's oven is different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also within the oven, you might have hot spots and you might have cooler areas.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
So what I would suggest is use some scrap clay that you're not too worried about, that you're not going to miss if it goes wrong, and just test your oven out before you put all your butterflies that you've made in.
Yeah,
because otherwise, I've done it, you know, put all my butterflies in and they've all gone wrong and you're like, oh no, I've got to start all over again. So just test your oven first. You can use the polymer clay baking tray, which would be great for this kind of thing.
Hey presto, look at the graphics on screen. I know, as if by magic.
All you have to do, transfer them onto the baking tray, cut them off with your blades that you get in your polymer clay starter kit, transfer them onto the tray, and then pop your tray in the oven.
Fantastic. And it's only $9.95 as well for the baking tray. It is absolutely wonderful. It comes with little skewers that you can make little beads with. It's a really, really fantastic baking tray. And it comes with an acrylic board as well, so you can roll your beads out or roll your sausages out or however you want them to look.
It's a really good accessory, and it also means that you're not getting sort of your baking trays or your roasting tins all sort of covered in polymer clay or anything like that. You're keeping everything separate. A lot of people do comment on the smell of polymer clay whilst it's baking, and to combat that, what you can do is just wrap your baking tray in a little bit of foil, and that just limits the smell of the polymer clay. It's not toxic or anything like that. I like the smell
of it, actually. It's kind of like, it's kind of like you can smell that it's working.
Yeah, it's always nice to know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's your first stage.
Brilliant.
What I do with polymer clay, just because of how my oven is, I pop them in for 10 minutes, I take them out, let them cool, pop them back in for 10 minutes, take them out, let them cool, and then you can repeat that a couple of times. And what you want, when you bring them out of the oven, after 5 minutes, you shouldn't be able to see a fingernail impression in the clay. So that's when you know that they're nice and cooked and ready to work with.
Brilliant.
Once we've done that, I will grab some that I made earlier.
Oh, I love this. Blue Peter style.
Blue Peter style. And of course, you can see that they're all nice and cooked and ready to work with. What you need to do is just make sure that all the edges are filed. Again, you get little sanding blocks within the polymer clay starter pack.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Just file those off nicely, and obviously the more work you put into the start stages, the less work you have to do in the end result. It gives a much better finish. We then have to add the glitter, which is my favourite bit. It's like being back at school.
Yeah.
For this demo, I'm going to use some super glue. Now, you can use super glue, or you can use the hypo cement that we have on our website as well. And it's literally just dab into, when it wants to play, into the depressions that the moulds have made. If you just trace around all of them, all the way along, and it's good to have much finer nib on your glue, which is why the hypo cement is quite handy for this technique. And you go along.
To your finger then.
Ooh, yeah, almost.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Fantastic.
Just cover them all. And obviously at home you can take a lot of time doing this, get it into all the little depression bits, all the little textured stamp areas, just to make sure that you're doing it all very, very neatly. The quicker you work, the better, because obviously you don't want the glue to start setting before you're ready. You'll notice that I've put the pieces on some paper, because it is just as you would at school. Grab your glitter.
Oh, brilliant.
I don't know how well this is going to work, because obviously the glue is setting.
Oh my goodness me.
Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. And the idea is to sprinkle it on, because the more you sprinkle, the more it falls into all the gaps and things that you've made.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Look at that.
Oh, just the green is so beautiful.
I'm just thinking about how much fun that's going to be for maybe someone to do with their kids or with their grandkids. I mean, that's just awesome.
Absolutely. It's sort of the instant effect, which I quite like.
Yeah.
So just let that dry off just a second.
So what should we talk about?
Colour green.
I love these butterflies. Why did you go for butterflies?
Ah, well, it's a little bit of an interesting story, but basically when Natalia produced these stamps, she asked a selection of designers to test them for her. So I was given the texture stamps to work with, and yeah, ever since then I created a big sort of butterfly piece, and it's become my signature. This stamp.
It is absolutely gorgeous. They're so sweet. I mean, you've made a pair of earrings as well. I mean, they do lend themselves to earrings, but to bracelets as well. I'm thinking just a single pendant as well.
Absolutely.
Hair slide fascinators, bridal projects as well.
You can do all sorts with this project, and the actual technique of putting the butterflies together will make a beautiful hair vine, make a beautiful hair comb. You can use it in all sorts of different techniques.
Well, I'm thinking also we've got a producer, Laura, who does a lot of millinery as well. I'm imagining you've done hats and things like that. I mean, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
If it's like Ladies' Day at Ascot or something.
Absolutely. Gorgeous. Stunning.
Right, we've probably given that enough time to set, let's hope.
Or as a cat teaser, maybe.
Oh yes, my cat does love these.
They'd go crazy over that.
Oh, look at that. Fully, but basically you can see the initial idea.
Yeah, definitely.
So we take each one and just tap the glitter off onto the paper, because you don't want to...
And again, you've hardly used any of the glitter. That's great.
It's amazing. These glitter pots, the ones I made that whole necklace with, and I've not even touched the levels on them.
Wow.
So obviously you'd need to sort of go over them, fill in all the gaps, make sure that you've got every single depression in the design covered.
But it's amazing that the glitter only really sticks to the bits that you've glued on, whereas some other glitter, as you say, it's really static and it'll just stick to everything. Whereas this is actually being very well behaved.
About this glitter is it just sticks where you put the glue and where you want it to go. So obviously we don't want to waste any glitter, hence why I'm working on paper. So we can open our pots back up.
Brilliant.
Using our paper. Oh, don't drop any.
And don't sneeze at this point.
Yeah, don't sneeze, for goodness sake. And tap. And you can see I've tapped it a little bit and there's no glitter left on the paper where I wanted it to go. Yeah, that's how brilliant it is for an anti-static point of view. And then just tip that back into your pot.
Gorgeous. This is brilliant because you're hardly going to use any of the polymer clay in this project. You're hardly going to use any of the glitter in this project.
Absolutely.
You're hardly going to use any of maybe even the wire in this project. It's just wonderful to be able to have something which you can make even more with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at a guess, you could probably make this necklace maybe 20 times over from the block of clay, because I've only used a tiny, tiny bit of clay as well. So
wow.
So yeah, it's good to experiment with, definitely.
Fantastic.
So that's our glitter back in its pot. I'll move those over to the side. And then we need to start constructing the necklace.
Yes.
So once all your glitter butterflies have dried and you've got the amount you want to start working with, don't forget you can always make more. You know, you're not limited to what you've made already.
Okay.
We're going to start with the wire. Now this might seem a bit of a roundabout way of doing it. Sometimes you might make the necklace first to sit the piece on. The reason why I like to make the feature first is because I know then how much I've got to work with.
Brilliant, okay, yeah.
So we're cutting...
That makes sense.
A nice long length, I won't do it too long for television purposes, of 2 reels of wire. Now, I think I used about 1.5 meters twice. So two reels, 2 rows if you like.
So that's just 3 meters, that's hardly anything.
Yeah. 2 rows and snip them down. Now obviously if I was working on this at home I'd have long strands that I'd be working with, but because it's a bit of a hassle on television, you don't want to poke anyone's eye out or anything like that.
Yes, very thoughtful of you.
We work with just these 2. To begin, just straighten the wire out. You see I'm just running my fingers down the wire and that keeps it nice and straight. That takes the coil out of it from where it was sitting on the reel. We take our round nose pliers and about 1.5 centimeters from the end, bend them away from you, turn your pliers around, form a loop, and then we twist the 2 ends of wire underneath and around just to catch that back on itself. And that forms a nice area, a little loop, almost like a jump ring, to which you would then attach your beaded necklace.
Perfect.
Taking your flat nose pliers, again, about 1 centimetre from where you just worked, and twist.
Okay, and why are you doing that? What does that do?
That just starts you off, because from here we start making branches from where the butterflies sit.
Okay.
But you need an area of almost like a purchase area where you can bead back to. If you do have dexterity problems, anything like that, you can do this with 2 sets of pliers. So you would hold the wire in one and then use your second set of pliers to twist. That just makes it easier if you find it a little bit difficult on your fingers. We then need to grab our butterflies that we made earlier. And again, the best way to do this is just a random selection. Taking one, you remember we made 2 holes in the butterfly. Pass the wire up through the first hole. Try to make sure it doesn't kink too much. Run it down so it almost meets where you've just twisted your wire, and thread the end back through the second hole. That really is like a button. Yeah, it's exactly. It's almost, it feels a bit like sewing as well, except you don't have a needle. Yeah, but it does, yeah. Now, you pull that back through until it meets there. So you've got the wire flat against the butterfly. And then you cross that wire back over the top of the area where you've just twisted. Okay. And twist. Oh, nice, okay. Twist it all the way up. Sometimes helps if you just grab the very end and give it a couple of twists to keep the butterfly area secure. And then you're twisting down the length of the little branch of wire that you've just made. Now, don't over twist because you can put strain on the wire, but just so it's a neat and even twisted coil. Lovely. You then repeat that. So on the first one, you would add 2 butterflies. We've got a nice blue one here. Down through the first hole and through the second one. And this is so lovely because you know what? Every single person is going to be making a different looking necklace or a different looking bracelet. It really is so organic, different every single time because you know the butterfly is going to come out different, the twisting of the wire is going to come out differently, and it's that unique selling point that you can pass on to your customers or your family members as well. Yeah, it's beautiful. So again, we've taken the wire through the first hole and the second hole, folded it back across the top. That's really important, across the top of the area there. Yeah. And just twist. Oh, simple. Really, really simple. And again, if you're finding that sort of butterfly is just flopping around a bit, you can just grab the very end of the wire and give it a couple of twists, and then continue twisting down the length of the wire. Now, at this stage, you don't need to be too precious about how it looks or where it's sitting, because you can go back to it and adjust it afterwards. Once you've done your 2, it's always best to start with 2 so you're not crowding the top of the design. Okay. Straighten the wires out again, push the butterflies up out of the way, grab your flat nose pliers and pop them in again about 1 centimetre from where you've just been working. Ah, I see. And twist again. This spacing allows the butterflies room. It means you're not sort of overcrowding it all on one branch, but you're just giving it enough room so you can work suitably. Lovely. Now, this is it does take a lot of wire, hence why I said use about sort of 1.5 meters. But you'll see, each time you've done a twist, it takes the level of the wires down. So this is the one I've just worked with, which is now much shorter than the other side. Yes, it is. It's key just to take your time with this, and every time you do a branch, run your fingers down and make sure that you're then using the longest wire. Yeah. Because otherwise you're going to run out quickly on one side. Yeah, it's a good tip, that. So, again, we separate the wires, hold the one you're not working with in one hand, and just literally grab a butterfly. First hole. And you don't have to make them all the same size, the branches, you can sort of mix and match, all different. And the great thing about the fact that it's wire and these are branches is that you can always make them stick out more or be more upright, or you know, you can always alter the position of them. Yeah, that's exactly right. Sometimes you do get this where the wire kinks a little, and it's all about just taking your time, twist it back, and then continue to work with it. I mean, there's no rush with anything like this. It's the sort of thing you can sit in front of JewelleryMaker and make away. Definitely. Twist and twist and twist. And again, you just continue that process by adding, I would probably do 3 butterflies, on this particular area, make another little branch down, then maybe do 3 more until I get to where I feel the centre is going to be, and add 5 butterflies. Okay. So you've got that graduation of size as well. What we can do then, obviously, if you've got a full sort of butterfly, well, what is a gaggle of butterflies?
I don't know. A flight of butterflies, a flutter of butterflies.
That's nice. I like that. A flutter
of butterflies.
The great thing is you can, as I say, add as little or as many as you like, but just make sure that you're adding them at different heights, because you can then fill in the background with other butterflies. And it's just about simply twisting, going along, twisting, and adding at random. Now, if we had like a whole sort of flutter of butterflies here, what we can then start doing is twisting and pulling them into place so they sit where you want them to sit.
Lovely.
Now, you might sort of just go straight in with your nails and pull them around, but the best thing to do is use the side of your fingers, because then you're not denting the wire and you're not sort of putting a sharp angle on the wire at all. So you pull, twist and position, just really, really dainty. Sometimes you might want it to sit in a different direction, so you can just twist that round. And the wire almost has a memory. It will sit where you want it to go. And it's just about taking the time just to fill all the spaces and just trying to make it look sort of as natural as possible. So this one's quite a long one, so you'd just twist and pull with the tips of your fingers.
Yeah, that's nice.
Just to position it all. The great thing about this technique is then once the butterflies are being worn, they will flutter.
Yeah, they will actually move. It's gorgeous.
And you can see they're just sort of flutter away, and it's really, really eye-catching. If you can imagine the light hitting the glitter, it really, really does enhance the design itself.
Stunning. How many butterflies have you put on this necklace here, do you think?
Oh, there's probably close to maybe 50 in there.
And how long would it take you, or how long did it take you to
do that whole row? Just weaving back and forth probably took about an hour and a half.
Okay, fantastic.
But that's probably more to do with the fact my cat kept trying to eat the butterfly.
Nice.
But yeah, you can, once you get into the flow of it, it does go quite quickly.
Fantastic.
It is then just simply a case of making your necklace, attaching that all in place by using the little jump ring area that we have created. So I'll just switch over and grab my beading board.
Lovely.
Which I have begun to lay out my gemstones on.
Okay, fantastic.
So obviously we've got the beautiful, beautiful rose quartz here.
It really is gorgeous.
I'll take those off the temporary strand. And now I find with this particular design, it sits better and gives a much more quirky look if you're making it on the asymmetric.
Definitely.
It is, personal preference, but I just feel it flows better.
Yeah.
The nice thing about the wire is you can also bend it round in the particular direction you want. What I've done on this particular design is using 9 rose quartz on one side. Simply, because it's organic and because it's going to be different for you depending on how long you make the piece, is I would always advise just to add your gemstones to your board and keep offering up the pieces that you've made. So again, we're just going to repeat on the other side by adding the same.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So I've got 7 on the other side before a druzy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7. Oh, these drusies are awesome.
And I just think they just lift the design. You know, you've got the glitter on the butterflies, and you needed just something through the necklace which was glittery as well. So it really balances the piece out.
I love how each one is so different as well. Each one's got its own little personality. It's gorgeous. Stunning.
And then I'm using 3 rose quartz in between, but again, it really depends on your design, it depends on how you want to work it, as to how it's all going to sit. So, there, then 2 left over for the earrings.
Oh yeah, of course.
3 more rose quartz, and a druzy.
Did you have all this design planned out when you were putting this together? Because it's so lovely.
It kind of happens. Just kind of happened. So I would have that roughly set up in the idea of the sort of shape and the length I want it.
Lovely, okay.
And then keep taking the piece that I've made and offering it up.
Yes.
Just to make sure that, I know that I've got to do this much more and how it's going to sit overall. And just keep twisting away and offering up against your bead board. there.
That's a really good gauge. That's a really good tip, because quite often people would get to making the piece of jewellery and then finding that the necklace isn't going to be long enough. So it's a great way of planning it out before you actually kind of commit to connecting the pieces together.
That's exactly right. With this particular design, obviously, it is just a very, very simple case of threading and beading. I felt with the feature piece of the butterflies itself, you didn't really need much more in the necklace. The gemstones kind of speak for themselves.
Definitely.
So for anyone who is a little bit unsure how to use print beads or anything like that, we can just quickly go through how we would add those. So we grab a crimp bead, pop that onto the beading wire, and thread back through. Now at that point you can either make your own little clasp to go on there, so the wire all matches, so the wire in the necklace design is going to match your wire in your clasp design.
Well, you've made your own clasp here. We will definitely see this before the end of the show today. We'll definitely see this because it's such a neat little clasp, this one.
I'll demo how to do the little
we'll
clasp.
see that a little bit later on in the show, but you can see she's made, that Hannah's made her own clasp out of the 0.4mm gauge wire. It's just gorgeous, that lovely little finishing touch.
It's about matching it all in, and if you do sell your jewellery, or even if you're giving it as gifts, it's those finishing touches people will see and think, yeah, that's really someone spent a lot of time doing that.
Yeah, it really is. Stunning.
So we've simply added a couple of the gemstones to one side, just so you can gain an idea of how this necklace goes together. Take in the other end, which it seems simple enough, but it is good to show. Pop another crimp bead on, run that down to the gemstones, and then pop that beading wire through the loop that you've made.
I guess that original loop.
Yeah, it is a closed loop, so you haven't got any fear of the wire coming out anywhere. Run that down, pass the beading wire back through the crimp. And the idea is, just to get it nice and neat, is to try and get it as close to the gemstones as you possibly can. Now, to achieve that, pop your round nose pliers in when you've got the crimp positioned where you want it, and clasp the beading thread that you're not pulling, if that makes sense. Then pull to make a neat loop. You can then use your flat nose pliers just to crimp off, and that way you're getting a neat beading thread and a neat crimp every single time. Just then do to snip down the excess, so pull the beading thread towards you using the crimp as an anchor, and that way you can get in close and snip.
Give you a nice flush finish.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So you can see the sort of the idea of how to form the necklace and things also.
Stunning.
Now, with the earrings, it's a little bit of a different design because obviously we haven't put two holes in the butterflies. Rather, we have just put one. So you'd go back to your polymer clay starting position with your still soft butterfly that you've just moulded out of polymer clay, and into one of the top corners of one of the wings, just the one hole. So rather than two, you just put the one, and that's where you can then feed your jump ring through to create your drop down earrings. Now, you can do this if you wanted to on a larger scale by adding little holes to the bottom of the butterfly and then creating an almost cascade. So you can do the same design in a cascade of butterflies. So we just grab some. So imagine your hole was here and here.
Make a little chain of butterflies.
Yes, and that makes quite a nice feature if that's the sort of design you were going for.
Oh,
so
yeah,
you can
lovely.
see there's so much you can do with this particular design to work it and have it how you want it to be. Pop those to one side. Now, earrings. Obviously, we'd have our little butterfly with its corner drilled hole there, and we then use our wire just to create the findings. Now, this is 0.4 wire. It would be much better to use if you've got any 0.6 wire just for the earrings, but I'll show you the technique through this. Snip down a length. It doesn't need to be a long length of your wire.
Okay.
And you see how it curves towards you. Now you can just use that curve and maximise on that curve for your earrings. So to form the first bit, curl towards you, take your round nose pliers out and curl back towards you. Now that's created your first loop. And as I say, use the curve of the earrings pop the wire in and bend around the very base of your round nose pliers. So that's a nice area. It makes a nice shape.
Yeah.
You can then turn round and you see it's curving back the other way. Put your round nose pliers in and just form a little natural curve there as well.
Nice.
And snip that down. And that forms your little earring finding. And from there, we can make a few component parts. Now, the druzy is sitting on a eye pin, which again you've created out of pink wire.
Oh yes, you've made it out of the wire, that's awesome.
So again, fold the wire away from you.
Okay.
And it's nice on this design just to make smaller, neater rounds. So round and around. Pop the druzy through so it sits close to the eye pin. And what you want is, again, to repeat that so it's facing in the same direction. So you pop your pliers in and fold down. Now that is going to ensure that both eyes are in the same direction rather than off at one side.
Another good tip. Awesome.
Snip that down about 1 centimetre from where you've just created that angle. Round those pliers in, roll and roll again. So that's created your eye pin. Now that's a little bit larger than what I wanted, so I'm just going to snip that down. And that's the beauty of jewellery making. You don't ever go wrong. You can just adjust it.
Happy accidents.
Happy accidents. That makes that section of the earring.
Lovely.
We've also created, I didn't want to do just a plain jump ring. I wanted to do something which mirrored the wings of the butterfly. So what I've done
stunning.
Is rolling, take again another piece of wire. You would use 0.6 for this, but we're just using 0.4 for reference. Roll towards you to make a little loop. Turn that around. Put your pliers back in on the opposite side to where you've just formed. Pull the wire around.
Ah, you're making a little figure of 8.
Yeah, a little figure of 8. Now I've left mine open just so I can work with them, but if you wanted them closed, if you wanted to make a chain out of that, you can then just wrap around the middle to create almost like a little bow. And that's just a really neat way of producing something like a link or a chain link, for example, which is a little bit different. But it just sets sort of the butterfly designs off.
Yeah, lovely.
We then snip that down, and that piece sits.
Oh, I love seeing all the components.
Yeah.
They're gorgeous.
And then to finish, we are going to just use the end of what we've just been working with, a little piece of wire there. And again, we're going to make just a small jump ring. So we pop that right down towards the bottom of your round nose pliers.
Right. It will go in.
It will go in. And wrap around. Take the piece out and move it so you're overlapping where you've just cut. You see you've formed a circle. Just about see that.
Yeah.
And we need to snip the excess, turn the pliers round and snip again to make sure you're getting a nice flush finish. And then it's just a case of tweaking that so it sits like more like a jump ring.
Yeah.
And then opening it, and then we'd pop it through if this was drilled in the right place on the corner, and then attach it all together.
Isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful, beautiful earring findings there. It's really interesting seeing you make your own findings and not necessarily using findings which you might have spare in your stash, because as you said, it's all about making everything match and making everything uniform, and it's so coordinated, this piece. It's absolutely gorgeous. Would you be able to go through the clasp that you made on the back here?
Certainly.
Because I think it's such a neat little clasp. I think it's worth mentioning. So we've got about 15 minutes left. It would be really nice to see the little clasp on here. It'd be lovely.
The clasp, but yeah, I can certainly do that. Again, as I've said with the earrings, it would be better to use a 0.6 wire, just because it's a little bit more stable. Or what you can do is use your 0.4 and twist it. So let's let's just do that. So you twist it around.
So if you twist it up, are you really creating a 0.8 millimetre gauge wire?
Basically, yeah.
Ah, okay,
so
lovely.
that gives you a lot more strength. So you can do that, and that would be quite a nice finishing touch actually, because then it's mirroring the twists and things that you've used in the butterfly centrepiece itself. That would be a really pretty clasp.
That would be nice, yeah.
I'm just going to show it on just a plain wire because it's easier to demo and it's easier for you to then follow as well. Now with the clasps, the idea is to make something that's easy for people with perhaps dexterity problems. As you may know, I sell quite a lot of my jewellery, and the biggest comments I get from my ladies at my jewellery parties is they like the toggle clasps. They like the clasp finish that they find easy to use. So taking a nice length of wire, we've got about 10 centimetres there, in the very tip of our round nose pliers, fold both sides down towards you. And that creates a really neat finish to the end. We're just going to pinch those together with the sides gently of our round nose pliers. We don't want to pinch too tight, otherwise it can cross the wires over.
Okay.
We take probably about, depends on the size clasp you want to form. In this case I've used about 1 inch of the double. Popped my round nose pliers in, taken one side up and over the other wire, and just twisted around and around and around to anchor that wire in place. Now with this, because it's a clasp, you want to cut the wires so it sits either at the side or just on top of the piece that you've just formed, so it's not sort of scratching the neck or anything like that. And you can actually use like a nail file just to get rid of the rough edges on there. Halfway down the area we've just created, you pop your round nose pliers in again and fold the whole piece towards you.
Oh, I see.
And then the finishing touch is just to flick that little end back up, and that works as a little stopper as well.
Awesome.
So you've created a little clasp. Now you can sort of squidge that down a little bit more, just so that's more closed, and to do so you can just grab the end and just squidge down with your pliers.
Isn't that neat? And presumably you could make this clasp using 0.6,
0.8,
0.8,
yeah, and one just about, but it takes a little bit of wrapping to get the wires round.
Yeah.
To form the little loop on the end, it's a similar way to how you would on an eye pin. Fold your wire back over your round nose pliers and round and around, turning your pliers as you go to release the wire, and then just simply twist. Now it's nice on this sort of design if you can twist enough wire down so it meets the original twist that you made, so there's no gaps in the design. And again, we just then simply snip.
That's beautiful.
Snip the ends, and again you can see it, you know, it works fine in 0.4, but it would be more secure in a 0.6 or a 0.8.
How satisfying it must be to make your own findings out of the wire.
It's just those sort of finishing touches which take your jewellery to the next level if you
and it's lovely seeing what you've done today, Hannah, because you've not only created your own design from scratch, but you've, as I say, you've made your own findings. You've made everything beautiful and coordinating. Now you can do exactly the same from getting this incredible deal today. I'm going to head back over because I want to give you a recap of everything that there is in this incredible pack, because it's surprising actually how little Hannah's actually used from the clay and from the glitter. It's amazing.
So true, yeah.
And presumably you can use this. You can use the polymer clay. It doesn't perish, does it? It doesn't go off.
No, as long as you keep it wrapped up in its original packaging or in cling film, and then store it in a grade 5 plastic box with a lid, and you'll see on the bottom of all the plastic boxes there should be a little triangle with the number 5 in, and that means it's safe for the polymer clay. Fantastic.
So this could be something which you do maybe Easter holidays and then you bring it out again summer holidays. It's just a lovely thing to get involved with. It's so creative, and whilst I was watching Hannah making those pieces, and perhaps you were thinking the same thing. Oh, you know, I could do that, and maybe mine would look a little bit different. Maybe I'd attach my butterflies to a headband. You know, it doesn't have to be just a necklace that you make and a pair of earrings. It could be, you could decorate your clothes with it, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could do all sorts. Producer Dee Dee was saying how she'd love to make little buttons for a cardigan out of them.
Fantastic. What a lovely idea. This really is wonderful. Let me just talk you through again what you're going to be getting. The main bulk in this is, of course, the massive block of white clay that you're going to get. And if whilst you were watching the demo that Hannah just beautifully did, you would have noticed that she hardly used any clay to make all those butterflies. It really is so surprising. Do you reckon you used about, what, maybe a quarter of a block? Or?
No, not even that.
Really?
Not even that, no.
This is fantastic, isn't it? Get the clay rolling machine. We'll bring the graphics on screen for that in just a few seconds, but you're going to be getting your polymer clay brick, your white polymer clay, which is wonderful. Well, there's no other way of describing it. It is a brick of clay. It's wonderful. You're also going to be getting your 5 drusies, and you really saw how that, as Hannah quite rightly said, it lifted the design, didn't it? It really lifted the design because it echoed, of course, the glitter that you're going to be applying to maybe the butterflies, and it kind of broke up the rose quartz, the kind of translucency of the rose quartz. So you've got 5 of your drusies there, all of them individual, all of them different, all of them centre drilled, beautiful quality. You're then going to be getting the rose quartz, and this is such a lovely quality of rose quartz, not only a great quality, but a great colour as well. Just lovely. Awesome. You're then going to be getting the 10 metres of 0.4mm gauge baby pink coloured copper wire. Now this has been amazing. When I first looked at the project, I just saw the wire being used as a way of getting the butterflies and attaching the butterflies onto the necklace. But in actual fact, every single finding, you haven't used a single finding, have you, Hannah?
Just the crimp beads.
Oh, just the crimp beads,
yeah.
yeah. But all the but you've made pretty much all the findings out of the wire. And whether you're brand new to wire work or whether you've worked with wire for years and years and years, there's something really satisfying, I think, about making your own findings and clasps out of wire.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it gives your jewellery just a different edge, and the fact that you can then match in all your designs with your wire is perfect.
Yeah, and because you've used it with the polymer clay and with the gemstones, it is effectively a mixed media piece.
Absolutely, yeah.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. Now, you're also going to be getting, these are awesome. These are all, I think they're all freehand drawn by Natalia, actually. She's one of our guest designers, lovely lady. She's one of our metal clay experts, and metal clay, the great thing about metal clay, it crosses over into polymer clay beautifully. So if you wanted to create this kind of design out of metal clay,
yeah, absolutely,
you could do that as well. This is the first stamp which Hannah has used in her project today, and it's the butterfly stamp. And it was lovely to see how you weren't too regimented about where you placed the stamp. You just popped it on the polymer clay.
Popped it on. I think that's important on this design, is just to be as organic as possible.
Yeah, it's not too precise. It's lovely. No. Really, really lovely. She wasn't particularly precise about the way that she put the butterflies on, i.e. the colour combination. And you know, you can be nice and organic with this as well. Lovely. And also this wonderful stamp which has got loads of lovely words on it. Some of Natalia's favourite words. I'll read some of them out. Good night kisses. Oh, that's lovely. Dinner with a friend. Kites flying. Oh, lovely. Rainbows. Oh, pink icing. Marshmallows. Just such nice things. I'm almost falling asleep here reading all this. I just it's like a bedtime story. It's lovely, isn't it? So these 2 beautiful stamps. What would you use the just going away from this project now? What would you use these scrolls for?
I've used the scrolls in quite a lot of heart designs. So I've again taken my pieces exactly how I would with this. Stamped the words into, and then followed the words in glue and glitter over it, just to bring out the words as well. And you can do the same with foil, put the foil into the words as well. So it just adds that personal touch, and it's really cute on little hearts and things. Yeah,
this is fantastic. It's really, really lovely. Not only that, but you've got your excuse me, I've got to sneeze. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm fine. You've also got your glitters. Yes, I will let you know, don't worry, because I'd hate you to hear me sneeze. It's awful. It's like a baby elephant. You've also got your I was going to call them sneezes then. You've also got your glitters. Now, Hannah, this has been an amazing journey that these glitters have come on, because I remember, was it Debbie who found these, or was it?
It was Debbie, yeah. Debbie found them at the NEC, and just like, Hannah, you've got to see these. They're the most amazing glitters in the world. And, you know, the instant I saw them, I thought, yeah, they really are. I love glitter. So, yeah, it's been a great, great journey working and getting exclusive colours as well. These are all iridescent shades of fashion bright colours, colour blocking colours. And just briefly explain again, what makes these different to, say, another glitter that I would get from a craft shop, or the kind of glitter that I used when I was at school? Well, they're ultra fine for a start, and anti-static. So you saw whilst I was applying them to the butterflies and then tapping them off onto the paper, it wasn't then sticking to the paper. I could instantly transfer it back to the pot. which really does reduce your wastage on the glitter as well.
I bet it does.
The other great thing about these is if you use them in your resin or in your jewel enamel, they don't sink because they're so lightweight, they're so fine, they won't sink to the bottom of your designs.
Fantastic. Oh, do you know what? I can just imagine this with resin. It's going to look absolutely beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, really, really pretty. And again, I've got the pots here that I used for this design, and it doesn't look like I've used anything out of them at all. They're still completely full. This
is brilliant because this actual bundle is actually brilliant because it crosses over into so many different mediums that we have here at JewelleryMaker.
If you use jewel enamel, you can literally pour the jewel enamel straight onto the textured stamps.
Yes, of course.
To imprint, and then again transfer. You can do the same, glue into the depressions and add the glitter to the jewel enamel as well. Again, you've said already you can use it with silver clay as well, but it's the sort of thing just to give you a starting point to then go on and produce your own creations and put your own stamp on it.
I think that's a really good point, Hannah. Don't necessarily think about this price point, $59.95, as one project of jewellery, because it's so much more than that. So much more than that. As Hannah quite rightly said, all of this polymer clay would make this necklace. Oh, how many times did you say?
About 20.
About 20 times over. That is pretty impressive. And not only that, but you've got stamps now for life. You've got glitter, which is going to last and last and last. You've got a project here, which isn't just you've got a bundle here, which isn't just one project. It's something which can go on for a long, long time, and you can keep on adding bits to it, taking bits away. Just wonderful. Now, this is $59.95. If there was anything else I would say to get with this incredible collection, I would say it's got to be. Well, there's two things really. But the first has got to be the pasta machine. That's going to make your life so much easier, isn't it, Hannah?
Oh, it's invaluable. If you imagine you would have to hand roll each one of those butterflies, you just can't do it.
I can't even begin to imagine how difficult that would be, because you've got to make sure it's a uniform thickness throughout the whole, throughout all of the clay. You've got to make sure that there aren't any air bubbles in there. Yeah. You've got to make sure you keep it really nice and clean as well. And it is one of those. It is one of those tools that every single guest designer who's used it before, and Debbie Bulford, who's one of our polymer clay experts, has said she just can't find another pasta machine, another clay rolling machine. Sorry, because we call them pasta machines. Another clay rolling machine that's of this kind of quality at this kind of price point. It is just wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a brilliant, brilliant project, and I can't be without it. Now I've used it, I can't be without my pasta machine.
And you can actually. The interesting thing with the clay rolling machine, you can actually screw it onto a sideboard, onto your work surface. Hannah didn't actually do that, so it just gives you an idea about how easy it is to use, how smooth it is to use it. You can actually do it without putting the clamp on there, but it does come with a clamp, and it's $14.95. We briefly touched on the beading rack as well, which is another great tool to have. Sorry, the baking tray, which is basically a long, thin baking tray with an acrylic board which can go not inside it. Make sure when you do bake your beads that you take the acrylic board out of it. But it comes with skewers, so you can make your own holes in the beads. You can literally suspend them whilst you're baking them as well. And that's $9.95. That's something which can cross over again, and you can use that with other crafts. I'm just trying to think if you can. Do you bake anything else?
You can use it in different ways. There's also a cutter rule on it, so you're cutting at 45-degree angles, which is perfect for your canes, and then little pendant racks, so you can pop your pendants on.
Perfect. Okay, so $9.95 for your baking tray as well. Now, by adding all of this together, I think you've got a project which isn't. You've definitely got a bundle which isn't just going to be a flash in the pan. It's not going to be something which you use once and never come back to. This is going to last and last and last. Whether it's the fact you come back to the clay in half terms and holiday seasons to come. And the reason why I'm saying that is because it's such a fun bundle to work with, and it's got such wonderful colours. And of course, Hannah's been so inspirational with her designs today that you know it's just one of those things. I just want to be able to share this kind of project with other people. It's it looks like such a sociable piece to make.
It is, definitely. It's good fun. Really, really recommend it.
Awesome. So it's $59.95. Add it onto your order when you can. Don't forget you're going to be getting a 30-day money-back guarantee, and you're only paying $2.95 P&P per order. I think this is wonderful, considering you're getting so many things here which will last you such a long time. Now, if you're interested in any of the glitters or polymer clays that you want to add to this, make sure you have a look on our website, which is JewelleryMaker.com. We've got loads of other polymer clays, of course, loads of other gemstones, loads of other wire. If you want to kind of adapt this and make this into your own kind of project, but kind of nick a few of Hannah's ideas, you don't mind, do you?
I don't mind.
She doesn't mind, you'll be fine with that. Then feel free to do that. Go to our website, it's JewelleryMaker.com. We've got a brand new look website, which is absolutely awesome, where you can type in keywords and it will bring up relevant products for you. But I think by adding maybe other stamps, maybe foils to this as well.
Yeah, you can. The selection is endless. You can really make it your own in all different ways. So just go for it.
Oh, fantastic! Have a go. Get on those phone lines. Get involved on our website as well. It really is superb. Now we are going to be bringing you lots and lots and lots more of our masterclasses and design buys as well. We've got. I don't know if we've got another polymer clay one coming, but I know that we've got some more big beading projects coming up as well. So do stay tuned for those. It's been great having you with us today, Hannah.
Thank you. It's been good fun. I've really enjoyed
myself. Can you come and do some more shows with us? Because you're lovely.
I will try.
Fantastic. Get out of that manager's chair and come down here. It's been fantastic having you with us today, Hannah, and a gorgeous project, and I'm going to nick it. And thank you very much for joining us as well today. And just get busy. We're here to inspire you. So get jewellery making. Lovely to see you today. Take care. Bye.